Bitcoin is sitting at 57,600, and we have the S&P also rallying this morning, setting in a new high at 557 on the SPY, as well as the Qs also reaching a new all-time high at 500. So how much further can this stock market rally continue? What stocks and sectors can we look at to get outperforming gains? And what is going on with Bitcoin and crypto? Did we just see the low on this correction for Bitcoin as well as some altcoins? Well, we'll get into all of that today. So if that sounds good to you, you know what to do. Be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe if you want to see more. And let's get into it. All right, guys, what's going on this morning? We have Tesla hitting a high that we haven't seen since 2023 at right around 265, and Tesla has been on a tear the past several days here, really rallying from this point down here when we mentioned that we saw a breakout that was potentially coming down here around the 189 level. So Tesla is looking strong at the moment, but it looks like you may see some sort of a pullback here. It would be good to see a little retest and have the stock cool down for a little bit. But for right now, Tesla is ripping and it could go higher as well. You could see something like a 280 or 300 on Tesla here in the short to medium term. Really thought this was going to take a little bit longer to go this high, but it blew through our target of 255. And, this isn't uncommon for Tesla. You see these rallies, and you'll see big rallies like this, usually followed with some sort of pullback and maybe one push higher before starting to sell off. So that is a possibility here for Tesla. I would like to see it pull back some. You don't want to chase these pumps. That is where you get burned as a trader or really even an investor. You don't want to have that fear of missing out for something like this. I wait to see if we get a little pullback here, maybe a retest on this weekly trend line that we have, and see if we see a bounce. So why is the stock market rallying and crypto potentially seeing a bottom? Well, it was based off Powell's speech yesterday. He said most recent labor market data sent a pretty clear signal that the labor market has cooled considerably. Labor market is more or less back to pre-pandemic levels. We're all aware now that we face two-sided risk. Labor market is fully back in balance. If we move too quickly or slowly on rate cuts, there are risks on both sides. And we are very much balancing those two key risks today. Not unlikely, next policy move will be a rate hike. So he was a little bit more dovish than people kind of expected, saying that he thought that we had seen some key indicators showing signs of cooling down, and they may potentially need to cut rates sooner rather than later. So that is obviously bullish for assets. And we also have the semiconductors also pushing towards new all-time highs. We have AMD and a couple of these other semis that lag behind the big ones, such as NVIDIA, making some highs here recently, sitting at 185 and breaking out of this previous line of resistance. So The some of the semis are still look like they have some room to run, and that was on the back of Taiwan Semiconductor second quarter revenue jumps on an AI boost. So we know that this market has been mainly led by the Magnificent Seven and mainly the semis in anything to do with AI and data. So what does that mean for the rest of the market? Well, for now, it looks like the market is going to continue to go up. We need to watch the S&P though, mainly, and see if there's any signs of weakness. It would be good to see some sort of a pullback here, maybe a 3 to 5% pullback. If we did get a little bit deeper correction, we might see something down into that 8 to 10% range. That is a real possibility. So that could take us back down to some of these levels that we had marked off previously here in our box highlighted in purple. What other sectors are looking strong? Well, there are a few, including metals, but one that is not at the moment is energy, and it is sitting at key levels of support. This is the weekly chart of XLE setting, coming right down to our trend line here on the weekly, setting at 88.96. You see the RSIs are at the bottom side. So we might see a bounce here or some moves higher in some of these energy names, including possibly natural gas, and this is NGL. So this is an natural gas ETF sitting at 478. It looks like it may be forming a little base here. Really here, there's nothing that really supports back here besides this one candle. And so I could see this coming back down to this box and forming a base, but it looks like we might start to see some of these names in energy and oil potentially get a little bounce here in the short term. You also have some of the old industries lagging behind the market, such as the Dow Jones, which has been showing some more strength here in recent weeks, but some of these stocks have been beat down quite a bit. This is Magna, MGA, and we are sitting at levels that we haven't seen since 2020. And so some stocks like these have really been beaten down, showing oversold conditions on the monthly, which means that this could be potentially a good investment or spot buy opportunity out there for longer term investors, as well as even traders may want to get in on this if we do start to see some form of base starting to form. Let's go over to the daily, and I'm going to have to refresh this, guys. Sorry, hang on with me just one moment while I update this chart, and we will take a look at the daily on Magna just to see where we are at. We have this downward sloping trend here, which we broke out of, and it looks like we could be putting in a base here for Magna around $42. So this may see a nice little move to the upside here, potentially up to around 53 to 55, $56 here in the midterm over the next couple of months. Another stock that I've been keeping an eye on is this uranium stock. We know the metals have been doing well here recently. Gold's been showing some strength, as well as silver, and copper looks like it may have put in a U-turn. And this is URNM setting at 51.19, bouncing off our line of support, and we have much higher price targets for this stock here in particular, up to around $70. So you could see this have quite a bit of room to run here in the next couple of months or potentially over the next couple of years. We know uranium has been looking rather strong here for about the past year, and so we could see a lot higher prices for this stock. What other stocks and ETFs can we take a look at? Well, going back to crypto, this is uh, ticker BITO. It is the Bitcoin Futures ETF setting at 2023. And right now we are coming right down into this box here we had highlighted. Um, and it looks like you may start to see a turn here for Bitcoin and crypto. And if so, that would be good for some of these other ETFs and stocks. And one thing I like about this ETF is it is offering a nearly a 40% dividend yield right now, which is just crazy. Plus, you get those crypto type movements in some of these ETFs. This thing has been beaten down to, it has fallen more percentage wise than the price of Bitcoin. It's fallen over 40%. And so if we get back up to these all-time highs here that we saw just a couple of months ago, you could see nearly a 70%, 75% return on something like this here in the coming months overall. If we go back to the Bitcoin chart, it does look like we're putting in a base here potentially. We are starting to break this downward sloping trend line that is from the 4-hour chart. And we've got a little series of higher lows and higher highs. And we came up and tried to retest the lower side of the range. So if we can get up back above that, well, then that would be where I would really start to look to see if we do see a swing turn here for Bitcoin, and that will also help out crypto. But really, we need to get back up above some of these other levels here, including around this 63,500. And really, if we can get back up around that $67,000 level and reclaim that, well, I think then we are probably off to new all-time highs. What other stocks can we take a look at? Well, Coinbase is another stock, and of course, it's related to crypto, one of the biggest exchanges that we have here in the US, and it is putting in a series of higher lows and higher highs right now, coming down to near our trend line at 219. So we could see Coinbase take off and start to move up towards our first take profit zone around 250 to 270 per stock. All right, guys, if you're interested in buying stocks, ETFs, commodities, or crypto, you can do so over on Robinhood. And right now they are offering a 1% boost. Plus, they have 8 times the national savings rate, and they allow you to begin building your portfolio with just as little as $1. They allow you to invest in stocks, options, ETFs, and trade commission free. Plus, when you sign up, you get a free stock with Robinhood, and they allow you to buy cryptos such as Bitcoin, Doge, Ethereum, as well as gold. If you're interested, there is a link down in the description below. What else is going on with Bitcoin and crypto? Well, Mike Alford posted this over here on X or Twitter. He said, CPI print leaked. We are coming in under expectation by at least 0.1%. First rate cut in September. Everything is going to rip market. So we know that if the rates are cut, well, that is going to be good for risk on assets in the short to medium term. As rates go down, that is good for risk on assets as well as the market. The catch with this will be is potentially whenever we see that yield inversion, usually means that maybe something is broken in the background. Um, so the government could have to come in and prop things up, which typically does scare the market, and you could see a sell-off, but I don't think you're going to see any of that here anytime in the next year or two. I think that these markets will continue to go up through the fall into the presidential election. You may see some sort of pullback around the election, but then I do think that the markets will continue to go higher into 2025. Another thing we can take a look at for Bitcoin and crypto is the heat liquidity map. And so this is the daily. You do see that is some liquidation down around the 56,700. So you may see Bitcoin's price sweep down below that here in the next couple of days. But if we zoom out to the weekly and monthly charts, then you'll see a much different story. So let's give this just a second to load here and we will take a look at that. On the weekly, you saw that we came up and we swept this liquidity sitting around $59,400. And if you take a look at the monthly, well, then you can really see where these markets could go here in the coming days and weeks. It looks like we've got a lot more upside potential now that all this liquidity has been swept off, and we know that the markets like to move towards that liquidity and take that money. So our next big area will be right around 65,000. Then we have a couple areas further up around 67 to 68,000, as well as some up around that $70,000 range. And if we get back up there, well, it looks like we could break the all-time highs. Like I said, we know that the market makers like to push these markets in the direction of the most liquidity so that the market makers can make money. And so it looks like right now the liquidity is mainly all to the upside here over the next couple of weeks and couple of months. So it looks like Bitcoin's price most likely will be going higher, as well as crypto. What else is going on in the crypto land? Well, you have the total three. So this is everything minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. Looks like it's also finding some support here on the total three, and this is the market cap setting at 573 million. So right now it looks like some of these altcoins may begin bouncing, and we also have, I am not sure what is going on with that, but we have the fear and greed index for crypto right now sitting in fear at 28. And so this is interesting. If we go down and take a look at this reading, right now we are at levels that we haven't seen since back in January of 2023. So Bitcoin's price was obviously much lower at that point. And if we just zoom out here on the Bitcoin chart, well, if we go back to January of 2023, you can see that Bitcoin was much lower and was setting down around that $20,000 level. So we're back at levels that we haven't seen in that long. And if you see the RSI 14 close, we're down here on the bottom side of the charts that we haven't seen since back in August of 2023 when Bitcoin was setting at $25,000. So what does that mean for Bitcoin and crypto? Well, to me, I think this means this is potentially a good spot buy opportunity for any long-term investors, and the day traders will be keeping an eye out here for a turn. We have Ethereum setting at 3112, also showing a little bit of signs of strength, and some of these altcoins are showing a little bit more signs of strength here recently relative to Bitcoin over the past couple of weeks. And it looks like if Bitcoin rallies, you're really going to probably start to see some of these altcoins rally and outperform. What else is going on with Ethereum? Well, Spot on Chain posted this over on X. It said 7 hours ago, a whale or institution withdrew 16,499 ETH or $53 million from Binance. And then they transferred that to a wallet. So what's going on with that? Well, I'm sure we may find out down the road, but basically they were suggesting that they think this is ahead of the ETH ETF that could go live next week. So this could be very bullish for the crypto market, and you're starting to see, like I said, some of these altcoins show some signs of strength. This is Solana sitting at 141, also seeing a little bounce here. And like I said, some of these altcoins really haven't fell like we've seen the price of Bitcoin fall. So yeah, it is starting to look bullish for a lot of these altcoins, especially the stronger ones. And if you're interested in buying Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche, Chainlink, or many more, you can do so over on iTrust. I use iTrust Capital. iTrust Capital allows you to buy, sell, and trade crypto, gold, and silver 24/7 in a tax advantage IRA. They also have low cost and no monthly fee. Plus, right now, if you sign up with iTrust, they will give you an extra $100. If you're interested, there is a link down below in the description. Yes, it's an affiliate link. I do appreciate it. And it is Wednesday, guys. It is hump day. Don't forget to follow me over at Mind of Financier on X or Twitter, whatever you call it these days. And I am Mind of the Financier on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. All right, guys, I hope y'all have a great day. Until next time, guys, be legendary, take care, and peace out.